friend in need. Hey, cheer up! Who are you? I'm a good guy. I've just come from the Good Guy Clubhouse, and I'll be your friend to the end.
Now you can have your very own Good Guy doll. That's right. You can have all the adventures we have on TV
in your very own home.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play? Ready, ho! Ha, ha, ha! Hi, I like to be hugged.
Thank you for tuning in, and happy frickin' holidays, everybody. Today, we are finally taking a look at Treat Studios' newest Chucky doll. This is the 1-to-1 Scale Plush Good Guy doll. So this guy is something that we know has been on the way for a really long time. Garrett Zima, who helps Treat Studios or works with Treat Studios and also designs his own Good Guy dolls, kind of let it slip on Instagram a few years ago that they were going to be making some type of plush or economy Good Guy doll compared to the one that they already have on the market. All of the differences I'm going to go ahead and cover later when I compare the two dolls, but the basic ones are pretty much, it has a much more simple printed overall pattern. It had less detail. It doesn't have inserted eyes. Again, we'll go over all of this later, but essentially everything about this is a little bit cheaper than the one they already made. But that's not entirely a bad thing, because again, not everybody has $500 to spend on a Good Guy doll, so the fact that this one is able to exist on the market for $200 is fucking insane. And I do apologize, I kind of have to get on his level down here in this chair. He doesn't really work with a stand. Again, he is all plush, so he doesn't really stand at all. Even when you use one of the stands that work with my other dolls, he's just kind of always chilling because he's so heavy and so floppy. But this is a good thing, because to be honest, the Good Guy doll that I already have, I love that doll, but I do take it to conventions. I take it to Horror Hound, and he's kind of gotten some fraying, some separation, some breakage on the foam underneath, so I'm really happy to have a Good Guy doll, a Chucky doll, that I'm able to kind of handle, manipulate, play with, squeeze, pick up, throw around, and really do whatever I want with without really damaging it. I mean, obviously you will damage it if you throw it down the stairs. I don't recommend doing that. But this is one that you should be able to pretty much handle, take around, use it as a home decoration or Halloween decoration, and he should have a lot of mileage on him. Now, as far as details, you'll notice the hair here, again, is extremely long, and they addressed this, Garrett Zima at least addressed this, and I do completely agree with the reasoning. Especially the Kickstarter Good Guy dolls, when those came out, the hair was coming out pretty short, so they made sure to just go ahead and make this one a little bit longer if folks really wanted to tweak it. It's a lot easier to cut hair than it is to add hair. I understand that. It does look a little long, it does look very silky and very smooth, kind of not the most accurate, but again, it definitely works for the price. Now, the great thing is, though, there are folks that sell wigs for dolls this size, for their own custom dolls, for the other existing Treat Studio doll. You can get a wig that's going to look a lot better on this than probably the stock hair. Again, the stock hair is not incredibly bad, but when compared to the wigs that you can get on Etsy for just right around 30 American dollars, it really is no comparison. That extra $30 does kind of seem to be worth it with some stuff that I've seen from folks. So hopefully I'll be able to try one of those someday, and I can make a video about how that looks. I'm going to go ahead and bring him closer to the camera. So some of the other main differences, which you'll really see later when I'm able to compare the two in a better frame, but these eyes are painted. They're not separated or set in or anything like that. These eyes are simply painted on there. You can probably see that. Now, they look incredible. There's nothing wrong with them being painted. Again, this doll being cheaper, the way they manufacture it has to be a little cheaper. So, but the painted eyes do look really great. The eyebrows are all painted on. The freckles on the face do look really great. There's really nothing wrong with any of the paint splotches or anything. They did a great job with, just adding that detail via paint. I'm going to sit down with them while we talk about them. So, again, these overall here's are more plain. They are essentially printed. These actually look a bit closer to what was originally shown for Trick or Treat's Kickstarter doll. These, again, they're not denim or jean. I don't know exactly the right word. I'm not a fabric connoisseur. But these are a bit more basic. They're much more light, and again, they're just simply printed. And the same thing with the undershirt that is all striped. Again, there's no texture to that. It's not the sweater shirt that comes on the regular Good Guy. This is something a little more basic, but great. I love how vibrant in color this guy looks. I guess the basicness to him really works because it doesn't feel like they really chinsed out on any certain part of him. It just feels like all of him was really kind of thought out to go together. Now, the shoes do feel pretty similar. I don't know how much different you could do these. They are hard plastic. They do still sport the Good Guy shoelaces, and the bottom still does have all of the fun stuff that you can leave on the counter and flour. He does have his little itty-bitty Good Guy hands. Now, his arms seem a little long. I don't don't think I would call the arms long or anything like that. I would say that the sleeves are a little short. I do think the sleeves are short because once it's already doing it. So you can kind of see right there, it does reveal where, like, you know, it becomes a doll arm. We know it exists, that's fine, but would have been nice to just have the sleeves a tad bit longer. He also does come with this really nice, like, Beanie Baby style good guy tag. They never had these in the movie to my knowledge. This is something that Treat Studios did because this guy does not come in a box. If you're waiting for me to show off the good guy doll packaging, this one does not come with any type of good guy doll box. He comes folded in a standard box. He's packed fine, but he does not have a good guy box. This is the most you have. I kind of like this. I really kind of want to keep it on there as much as possible. If I can get like a plastic tag protector to put on that so when I carry it around it doesn't fall off, that'd be nice. Now, as far as posability, his hands, if you go ahead and grab, now he's got, similarly, if you've ever handled the Spencer's Good Guy, or the Spencer's Chucky doll from Bride and On, he has a zip tie that is essentially holding this on here that's sewn into the fabric, and this is what holds it on with this disc inside of the hand. So if you take this and you really grip the zip tie itself, like brace it with your thumb so it can't turn, you can turn these hands very so slightly. Now, I don't know if this is something that's recommended to be done or if it is simply just how they're affixed on there, but you can move them. They don't feel super great to move. At least this one feels a bit better to move than this one, but you can move the hands if you'd like. And also a correction from my unboxing video where I said you could not move his head. It really didn't seem like you could, but somebody did make a video where they stated that yes, you can move the head, and you really can, and it is incredibly scary. So let's do it over here so I don't destroy the tag. And you've really got to just brace to fucking murder him. And you've got to grab, again, there's the back of the zip ties on the back of the neck. You really want to brace that with your thumb back here. Take that and kind of like use the ears and kind of use those, the chin, something like, it's really hard to get a good grip on this one. See, that's the good thing about knowing if these are alive or not, that joke that everybody likes to tell, because if this thing was alive, it would have already fucking killed me trying to do this. There we go. We're getting some turning now, finally. So, yeah, again, I don't like turning the head on this. It feels terrifying. There you can see it is turned, but yeah, it's fucking terrifying. Let's see if we can move it back, just for posterity's sake. There we go. It does move a little bit easier to that side, it seems. Okay, yeah, that side isn't as bad. All right, so it can turn to the left, just not to the right too much, at least on my doll. And again, it's plush, so it can do whatever, absolutely anything. It has the exact same dexterity and articulation as a Woody doll. Here we go. Here's a comparison with the Good Guy doll and a Woody doll and how they, again, have the exact same genetic makeup. Take a Woody doll, ragdoll him around, you can throw him down the stairs and all of his limbs will follow. And then this guy, the exact same thing. He's just throwing a complete fucking fit. It's all plush in here. You could technically put some wires in this to make it a posable doll. At that point, I don't know why you wouldn't just buy the existing articulated doll. But for the weirdos like me who really wanted a Good Guy doll that kind of handled like some of the sample ones or sat with it, like when Maggie walks in with Chucky in the first Child's Play and he's just hanging on for dear life. I'm pretty sure she actually ripped the arm off the doll in that sequence. And just how he's able to sit in a chair and everything, again, just being able to use this without having to bend it is kind of really why I got it. Now, one thing I would recommend against is kind of how Aunt Maggie carries him in that scene. So his arms are kind of sewn on like a Woody doll's, where there's just a seam on the inside. It's a tube that goes narrow, and it's really hard to show with the clothes on, but it is just sewn in there. If you have this, you'll know exactly what I mean. So I would not recommend carrying it the way they carry Chucky in that movie or the way Andy carries Woody in Toy Story. So this feels a little trepidatious. Obviously, he can pull off like the look of it. This looks great. I just wouldn't recommend swinging him around from the arm. You could probably rip it off. Now, as far as the back, somebody asked before in the unboxing, but I got back to them already. But yes, and you've probably already seen it. This is a small feature. When you get the doll, these do come like parallel, two down like this, but you can take them off. They are absolutely Velcro, so you can just take them and swap them and make an X right here. Now, I do want to talk about a couple of qualms, or at least things that I kind of wish were done differently. So there's something that, in my opinion, is an issue with this doll that you really haven't seen too much of an example of in this video, because I kind of already fixed it, and I'll tell you exactly what that is. If you've noticed when I handle him, or when you pick him up, the overalls, they're so large on him, they go all the way up. So his overalls are always riding up to underneath his chin, and you gotta pull it down. The shirt does the exact same thing. So we're gonna go back here and I'll show you what I've done. And all I've done here is take the overalls, These come off entirely. They're not sewn in, they're not pinned in or anything. You just gotta, you know, kind of get them a little naked. It's a little weird, but pull the overalls down. Now, the shirt is a little short. Again, I wish the shirt was a little bit longer. I wish it was sewn in, but it's not. So simply all I did was take down the overalls, and I have safety pinned, little safety pins in sides of the shirt to keep it down. So you've seen in the video here how the overalls kind of right up a bit. The shirt will do that when you have it, but just a couple or four, 5, 6, whatever, it doesn't matter. Some safety pins should fix that issue for you, especially if you're having that issue already. That's just what I did. It doesn't feel like it's tearing the shirt. It doesn't feel like it's causing any, you know, damage or anything like that. It feels really great. Now, I don't really mind the larger overalls. It's kind of how it looked in the movie. I don't really like how baggy they are and how they ride up, but, you know, again, really, what are you gonna do? And while we got him like this, I want to go ahead and kind of show you. He does have a center mass. I can't really show you the center mass, but he has what feels like a big old weight that is centered right here in the front of his back. So if I take his back, I can really squish his back. I cannot really squish the tummy or the torso. So you can really see and here where that weight is. So it's not like a really heavy weight or anything. It's really just something to keep him upright at all times. No matter what you're doing with him, he's not going to like crinkle in half. That I do think is pretty good, but for those who are expecting a 100% complete plush good guy, they might be disappointed, but again, I see why they did it, and I do think it adds functionality for the doll to actually be able to, you know, kind of sit up and stand up naturally. I don't know why I said stand. Again, he really can't stand. I'll try and demonstrate that here while I go ahead and compare him to the original Trick or Treat Studios Good Guy and Friends. So here is the plush Good Guy doll with the original Good Guy doll from Child's Play 2. This is the original Kickstarter version. Sorry for my setup. I don't have a large enough like studio space for anything like this here, like I used to, at least for my desk area, so my floor is just going to have to do. Sorry for the robots. But here you can see some of the distinct differences between them. You can see the color differences, you can see the much deeper and kind of much more intricate clothing on this version compared to this. When put next to each other, you can really see why this one's referred to as the economy doll. Again, main differences, these eyes in here are set in, they are separate pieces. These eyes in here are just completely painted on, it's all one piece. This one does have a much better, much denser, much more accurate wig piece. This is the original wig piece. I just kind of styled a little bit. It's a little messy right now as compared to this kind of chic, long cover girl style wig that this one has. One thing that does look like it's shared are the hands. The hands do look like they have much similar molding. The fingernails, the shape of the thumb, the palm, and the index finger all looks pretty accurate, or identical more rather. So I'm pretty sure that is the one used part on these. The shoes might also be used, but they do look a bit different. You can see the differences of the shoes right here. I mentioned earlier, or maybe it's later in the video, don't know at this point, the shoes are probably the same. So again, they do look like the same molding and everything, the same width, the same shape, same size, but these ones are painted a lot better, much more deeper red, much more glossy. The white is painted, and these look like these are just casted in red with a white stripe painted on them. So again, they don't look bad or anything, but this guy, you know, just looks so much more intricate detail. If that's what you're going for, this one's really damn good for that. So I did want to give you guys a bit of a closer comparison on these guys. I really don't want to bend his leg, so I'm sorry I don't want to sit him down at the moment. Hopefully this kind of frame right here will do. But here you can really see the skin tone differences as well. He's more pale, much more kind of plain as far as the skin tone that they left it at. This one obviously does have a painted bit of skin tone over his casted skin tone, and this one also has the rosy cheeks in it. It's the Kickstarter version. So there you can kind of see some complexion differences, and then also you can really see the differences in the eyes. Again, this is the original Good Guy doll's installed eyes, and then these are the painted eyes in the plush Good Guy doll. So again, these still look really great, but there is the comparison. If that is something that really plays into your decision to which one you want, that is the face. Now, the one thing you will notice about this Good Guy doll, he is standing on his own. So where the Seed of Chucky doll, Tiffany, Glenn, they can stand on their own, this Good Guy doll, for whatever reason, couldn't when he was released. So what he is on is a stand. Now, if you've seen the reviews for Chucky, Tiffany, and Glenn, I talk about those stands. I've not reviewed him yet, but this is one of those stands. I forgot the exact sizing dimensions for it. It's in the description down below. I got these off Amazon. They are the chubby waisted style doll stands. They're very large. For whatever reason, they can kind of go up in price depending on the time of the year that you get them, but these are available. Now, the only problem here is this is usually the stand that I recommend. The most I've been able to find you can do is kind of use it to help him sit, but he really just kind of sits on his like lonesome anyway. So unless you're sitting him somewhere where he doesn't have any type of backdrop or anything, you can kind of wrap this around his neck, and it looks really kind of but it will hold him there to sit him down. Now, I will say the unfortunate thing is, though, when you raise this up and use it like you were with this fella, like I would like to at least, which is fine, but the stand itself is not strong enough. So let's go ahead, I'm bending the teeth right here, getting the doll in there. So he is attached to the stand and everything, but you can kind of already see that, you know, these dolls help because they're kind of already helping stand themselves up. He just needs that much more support. This guy will not stand up for the life of absolutely anybody, anything, or anywhere. So even when you try to leave it alone, you can see it kind of, yeah, that's actually the best I've been able to do on camera, is the best I can get him kind of standing up in that stand. But obviously that's not a way that you would like to leave him displayed or anything like that, so unfortunately I do not have a stand that can hold the plush doll, at least at this time, that I can recommend. But again, this stand works for the other 4 dolls perfectly. And here is the money shot. This is every single release from Trick or Treat Studios 1-to-1 scale Chucky replica line. We have the Good Guy doll from Child's Play 2, we have the Scarred Chucky from the Seed of Chucky Kickstarter, we have Tiffany from Seed of Chucky, and we have Glenn from Seed of Chucky, or I guess we should call them Gigi now. So, and then we have obviously the plush Good Guy doll. So we have the entire set, the entire family, the entire cult here and present. And this cult will be growing soon with the release of the Ultimate Chucky. So I really love this shot here. Again, this just really shows how far Trick or Treat Studios has come. This is incredible that these 1-to-1 scale dolls do exist on this market, and especially for their price, even the more expensive ones. These are all a fantastic bang for your buck. I just can't believe that I actually own these for mass-produced dolls. These are wonderful. Again, I have taken looks at the Stitch Chucky, Tiffany, and Glenn, if you'd like to take a look at any of those. The Good Guy in the future, and the Ultimate Chucky coming soon. So this is really great when a company promises you a 1-to-1 scale Chucky doll and actually delivers. Aww. Now, lastly, something that I do think is incredibly cool, you can use the accessories that were made for the original Good Guy doll from Trick or Treat on this guy. So you can take his little hard hat, and it fits right on there. It's a little large, but it does work with him. You just kind of slide this one onto the buttons the same way you did with the original Good Guy doll. I'm pretty sure all these accessories are still available on their site or pre-orderable. I don't know. I don't work for Trick or Treat Studios. They don't pay me for these. I mean, Trick or Treat Studios, if you want to pay me or send me a doll, I mean, I'll take it. I'm not above that. And of course, you can give them the hammer to beat somebody over the eyebrow with. So that's pretty cool. Again, I like that the accessories, no matter which Good Guy you get, as long as you get the Good Guy accessories, you can still use them with either doll. Now, another really great ancillary thing you can get for him off Etsy, which is something that I already have, is these great sets of voice boxes. So somebody makes these, I forget the name off the top of my head, I'm sorry, but the information's in the description down below. Feel free to check it out. I bought 3 of these. I bought the Good Guy, I have Chucky, and I have Tiffany. I do not have Glenn's yet. It wasn't out yet when I made the order, so I still have to get Glenn's, but I do have the Good Guy doll one. It's a simple speaker box with a button. Now, if you cut out part of the chest or the back, I'm sure you can install this. Absolutely. I do know Garrett Zima was selling some, and he said that, you know, he was able to install voice boxes for those that, you know, paid and requested that. Just talk to him. I don't know if he has any more for sale, but really what I mean by that is it can be done. Now, I don't think I'm going to do that because I like to take this in and out of this doll and put it in my regular doll and just have it on deck because it's really, really cool.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Mighty ho!
And they have really great quality, so they're totally worth the money. So this thing is kind of large when compared to where you can really stick it on him. Honestly, to be frank, all I do is I open up the back of the pants, drop it down there, and it kind of rests around the thigh, back of the leg area. And again, you can kind of take that at any point, even though it's back there and naturally just...
Hey, wanna play?
This box has 3 voice clips, and the third one is...
Hi, I like to be hugged.
So yes, this is great. I really like how this comes out. It is kind of from the back, so I don't know how much my microphone is picking it up, but it is a really, really great little thing to have for him. And to kind of scare people. Sometimes I forget it's in there, and I'll pick it up, and he's just like...
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Mighty ho!
Now, all in all, I am incredibly happy with this, and I would absolutely recommend this to anybody. Now, if you're somebody who is just looking to have a 1-to-1 scale replica of a Good Guy doll, and you don't need all the fancy accoutrement the other one offers, this one should absolutely scratch the itch for you. And again, also, if you're insane and you want to have a plethora of Good Guy dolls, if you want to have an entire cult or reenact scenes from the TV series or have a Polly, a Tommy, and an Oscar, and an everybody, you can do that. These guys are fantastic. You can get 2 of these for the price of the regular Good Guy doll. So again, anybody who's just looking for a replica Chucky, I think you found it right here. He was worth the wait, he was worth the money, and I just got an email from Treat Studios saying I can expect the Ultimate Chucky coming into me next month. Apparently they were supposed to be on time this month. I had no idea. So I think it's really great that Treat Studios is keeping people updated with the delivery on these. They are getting them to us on time with the original dates they promised us last year, and it's fantastic. So Treat Studios is still doing pretty well on the release compared to, you know, other folks. So that's pretty much all I got to say about the 1-to-1 scale Good Guy doll here. So if you guys have any questions about him, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. I'd be happy to get back to you as soon as possible. Feel free to like and subscribe for more Chucky coverage coming to you in the near future. And also feel free to let Sci-Fi and USA Network know, renew Chucky. We need Chucky Season 3, so I really hope we can get that in 2023. But no matter what, either way, I will be back here in 2023 with the Ultimate Chucky. And until then, you guys have a great holiday and a Happy New Year.